Welcome, if this is your first time watching Who Remembers, the series where we discuss and break down my thoughts on games that are at least 10 years old or older. Some we are revisiting and some we are playing for the first time. I'll try to keep it mostly spoiler free by avoiding any major plot points. So let's get started. Uncharted Drake's Fortune officially released in 2007 on the Sony PlayStation 3. It was a PlayStation exclusive made by the great Naughty Dog production, whom also produced great titles like Crash Bandicoot and one of my all-time favorites, The Last of Us. Uncharted is an action-adventure game from the third-person perspective, which includes some light puzzle solving and jumping around like a monkey with some solid platforming. The combat is fairly simple, with the ability to shoot, throw grenades, and perform basic melee combat by throwing them hands. You can also dive side to side or front and back to avoid damage. Nathan Drake is the main character of the game, a thrill-seeking, sarcastic treasure hunter. Nate is a descendant of Francis Drake, the great explorer. The main objective of Uncharted is to find the lost treasures of El Dorado. Most of the game takes place on the island of El Dorado. As Drake makes his way through, he discovers many secrets of the island, fights off pirates, finds hidden treasure, and they even have a few surprises at the end just to switch up the gameplay and keep you on your toes. It has a real Indiana Jones vibe, and I dig that. Some of my favorite parts of the game is when you take a break from the ground combat and it puts you in a jeep or a jet ski. The story is nothing to write home about, but it provides you with enough entertainment and value to keep you invested throughout Drake's journey. Now, this is my first time playing any Uncharted game. When I look back on the release of Uncharted in 2007, I think about my shitty PS3. That thing was constantly overheating. I remember I was in a weird place with gaming, where I was mostly playing Madden and nothing much else. I was in college at Auburn University, honestly not gaming much at all. Uncharted was a game I was aware of, but I never showed any interest in playing. I was in school and working part-time, so most of my extra cash was going towards beer and shows. Games like Call of Duty were at an all-time high, and I was more concerned about getting the next ticket to Bonnaroo. After being completely frustrated with the PS3, I finally decided to trade it in and go back to the Xbox 360 after they resolved the Red Ring of Death issue. Fast forward to 2023, and I can honestly say I'm glad I finally played and beat Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I played the remastered PS4 collection, and honestly it holds up really well. There is nothing that will blow you away with this title, but it's a good time and it's a fun game to play. I played on the normal difficulty, and I was not really challenged until the last few chapters of the game. After just beating recently God of War Ragnarok and Death Stranding, I can honestly say Uncharted was a very refreshing experience that I recommend to anyone who's been under a rock like me. I really enjoyed the simplicity of a different time in gaming and the linear gameplay throughout Uncharted. The internet was just coming out and getting into gaming with online play, which was free at the time, and microtransactions were few and far in between. I really missed the days where most AAA games were about 8 to 10 hours long, and not a 40-hour game experience just to make it through the mainline story. The older I get, honestly, the less time I have, and it gets harder and harder to play games like Elden Ring. That's why I started this series, to remember all the great titles of the past, and possibly discover some new ones. To remember you don't have to pay $60 to $70 to have a good time, and play a fun game. I look forward to continuing the Uncharted series and continuing this series. So please consider giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, if you enjoy diving into games of the past and want to discover something new. Thanks for watching. Comment below your favorite game from the past, and who knows, maybe I'll make a video on it in the future. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.